So students, I'm here with the chapter third level. It is written by Jack Finney and this chapter is the first chapter from Vistas. So let's start. The third level by Jack Finney is an interesting story that is set after the world wars. Consequently, the life was full of fear, insecurity, war and worry. This story talks about the figments of imaginations that can be used to escape from reality. It takes readers back in the time of joy and peace. Charlie, the protagonist, wants to escape from the harsh realities of modern world and imagines the world of 19th century where the people were living peaceful life and they had ample time for themselves. The story weaves together psychological and journey of the narrator into the past, present and progresses towards future. He actually wanted to get away from the harsh reality of the 19th century, the world after the world wars. He wanted to rid of that cutthroat competition that was due to the industrialization after the world wars, and he wanted to live the peaceful life as his grandparents used to live in Galesburg. That was a time before 19th century. So how did he imagine to go there? He used to go to the Grand Central Station regularly, and one day he found the third level over there, but actually there were only two levels physically. So what happens in the third level? What is the description of the third level? So let's find out. There were only two levels at the Grand Central Station in New York. The first level is known for the 20th century trains and the second level for suburban trains. But one day, our protagonist, Charlie, found the third level over there that was mushrooming with subways, staircases and corridors like a tree, though it does not actually exist. So what's the Charlie's description of the third level? Again, I am saying that this is imaginary. There were smaller rooms, fewer ticket windows, wooden old-styled information booths. To your surprise, the other two levels, that means level 1 and level 2, were modernized, and the third level at the New York station, that was old style. So that itself is contrasting. So the description of the people moving over there, especially the men, they were having beards, sideburns and mustaches, and women were wearing the skirts, high button shoes and legs or button sleeves as the people used to wear in the 19th century. And the description of the tracks and station, there were brass spittoons on the floor, open flame gas lights, old style locomotives with funnel shaped stack. And to his surprise, there was a newspaper vendor. He was selling the newspaper The World, and it was dated 11 June 1894. Charlie wished to buy 2 tickets to Galesburg. Why 2 tickets? Because he wanted to take his wife also to Galesburg and have a peaceful and calm life over there. Clerk stares at him since the currency is different. And why the currency was different? Because he was living in the 20th century, he was having the new currency, but in his imagination, he was in the old 19th century station, and there only old currency can be taken for buying the tickets. So he moves from past to present, he comes to reality, runs from there because he had a fear that he can be caught by the police. But he went out with a hope that one day he will get the old currency and then he would go back to the third level again and buy the tickets and go to Galesburg. After coming back from the third level, he shared his experience to his friend, and his friend's name was Sam, who was a psychiatrist. But his friend Sam refuses to believe him. Even he considered it as a waking dream wish fulfillment. Why waking dream wish fulfillment? Because when we think a lot about one thing, we have a strong desire, so we start thinking of it in our dreams. But here, his desire, that means Charlie's desire, was so strong that he started thinking of Galesburg in his daytime. So this term is called waking dream wish fulfillment. That means dreaming in the day. His wife Luisa also disbelieved him, and she also got worried. President of New York could swear on the existence of two levels. So that means, and actually there were only two levels, but he experienced the third level that was taking him to Galesburg. Now what happened to him at surprise at last? Charlie got a note from Sam, his friend, who was a psychiatrist, and it was dated 18 July 1894. It was telling him that keep on searching for the third level. He also shared that he had already reached third level, the world of peace. Not actually third level, he had reached Galesburg through third level. And that was a strong desire of Charlie. But his friend visited that place earlier than him. And he also shared that he had started his new business of hay, grain and cattle, though he was a psychiatrist in the 20th century. He also wrote that he had enjoyed peaceful and happy life in Galesburg. So that was an inciting letter to him for Charlie. Now there is one more important term that has been used in this chapter, that is first takeover. What is first takeover? This term is used by stamp collectors to buy stamps on the day of release. They would mail the envelopes to them, putting blank paper in it with the postmark of the date to themselves. The envelope's cover remained unopened. Then Charlie inherited stamp collection from his grandfather, the grandfather who used to live in Galesburg. That was the dream destination of Charlie also. Now we would talk about Charlie's character. Charlie was an old 30-year-old ordinary person. He wanted security and peace because he was fed up with that modern world reality of cutthroat competition. So he wanted to take temporary refuge from reality. And where did he want to go? He wanted to go to Galesburg. What was his hobby? His hobby was stamp collection that was inherited to him by his grandfather. He used to live in Galesburg before World Wars. So he imagines himself at third level, that was a way to Galesburg. And his wife, when his wife came to know about his experience, so she was worried about him. Not even his wife, even his friend Sam was worried about him. So that's all for the chapter, but on the basis of this understanding, we have few questions. What was Jack's full name? Walter Braden Jack Finney. Why was the author renamed to honor his father? What unusual thing the narrator sees at the Grand Central Station? That was third level. What was the third level? An imaginary discovery of the narrator's mind. What is first takeover? A new stamp gets a postmark and date. That is called first takeover. What was the strangest thing at the third level? The corridor that led him into the past. That was actually did not exist. So what was Sam invited for according to the letter? For a lemonade party and to spend time in Galesburg. Does the third level really exist at Grand Central Station? No, it does not exist because it has only two levels, and the third level was an imaginary one. Who was Sam in the third level? He was a psychiatrist and a friend of Charlie. Who was Charlie's wife? Luisa. And who was Charlie's friend? Sam. So that's all from this chapter, students. Do like and subscribe my channel.